let's do goosebumps. Let's sit there for a moment. Say that one more time.
If I took the money from my son to build my company, it would be his company. It wouldn't be my company.
My name is Em Alaqua. I am a cinematic poet, otherwise known as a film director. And I am here because I follow this incredible human being on Instagram, and I'm always extremely inspired by her ability to underscore what's right and what's just. So she's one of my inspirations. So while walking in the airport, I walked past her, and you know what's crazy? I noticed her from the back of her head. I didn't even see her face. So it's kind of creepy, but you know what? Hey, listen, we got heroes out here. You know what I mean? Thank you for being a hero.
Thank you. And we're in Miami. Why are you here?
Filming with the Hip Hop Museum Tour with Paradise Gray and Pete Nice for Mass Appeal, for Nas's company Mass Appeal. So we'll be filming for the next 2 days here at Art Basel.
Amazing. What did you do with Jay-Z? I kind of missed part of it.
Yes, I was one of the film directors on the creative team for the Book of Hope that just wrapped up December 4th at the Brooklyn Public Library.
That's amazing. And look, you had this camera equipment. It's so legit.
Yeah, it's too legit. But, I'm very proud of my film crew sweatshirt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's wonderful to be able to do what we love through the vessel of the arts. So thank you for doing what you love, and thank you for inspiring me to do what I love.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's very sweet of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we weren't even filming because we just flew from Atlanta to Miami, and we were going to go check into our hotel, but as I was walking by, he came by, and that's really sweet. It's really sweet. It's been interesting. Like at airports, no matter where I go, at least one person comes up to me, either baggage claim or on my way in at TSA, or more than not, it's on the plane itself. Somebody will stop by and say hi. I had someone one time send a note up to me with the flight attendant, which I thought was very sweet. She said, "I didn't want to bother you, but I have to tell you this," and it was just a very sweet message. So I like it. People say, I don't want to bother you, but to be honest with you, it's better if you come up to me and say hi, so I don't think that you're like looking at me because you're mad at me. So I'm a little paranoid. So if you see me out at the airport or anywhere else, and as long as I'm not honestly doing something, but just come up to me and say hi, because I love meeting you.
Man, I gotta get like you, man, so I can stay in places like this. My Lord, look at this view. Like you wake up to your bedroom is just amazing. Yeah,
I just saw something and I didn't want anybody to have to take over control of it.
Right, and that's exactly what I want to build, a legacy company. So venture is not necessarily, the avenue that I needed to generate revenue. I needed to invest in it myself and build it. And I just finished my first beta, and I'm so excited about it. We had students at the AU Center, that's the Atlanta University Center, to actually compete. And so they helped me to kind of test it out, see how it worked, what works well, what doesn't work well. And it was a truly inspiring experience because it's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Amazing.
Young emerging artists who already has a small following to be able to take the platform and be able to amplify who they are. We want them to build a fan base, because if artists own their fan bases, then they have the control and they can grow, because those folks believe in them. Those are the people that they need to connect to in order to be able to create the art that they want to create and be able to receive the feedback, the positive support that they are seeking. Because if you have 100 paying customers, that's better than 1,000,000 streams of people who casually listen.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this episode. Join me at Your First Million Live. Go to yourfirstmillion.live, and because you're watching this video, I'm going to give you a deep discount on your ticket. Type in the word LIVE, L-I-V-E, at the checkout for any tier, and I'll see you there. You'll be in the building. You have to be there. Join me, TLC, Janelle James, Sheila Johnson, Rich Paul, Issa Rae, check it out.
Because if you have real supporters, them being able to pour into you, they buy your merch, they buy your music, they'll come show up at a show when you actually
They'll
go to
bring a
perform,
second person with
and
them.
they'll bring a friend. And that is so important because you want to grow that fan base. You want to have that connection, and you want to have that ongoing. You don't want to be fleeting. So that it takes a lot of hard work to do that. And typically our artists don't have the money to be able to invest in themselves to do that. So through Who's Got Next Music, our platform, it's a low entry barrier to entry. And they have the opportunity to then collaborate with other emerging producers and artists as well. So it's an opportunity for them to actually work on themselves and also grow through this process. They have to have a fan base in order to participate. They can't come in and say, oh, I just rolled out of bed today and I think I want to be a star, a music star. No, they actually have to have a fan base already, and our platform helps them to grow that, amplify, engage, and mobilize that fan base.
Is it manual onboarding where you select people, or do you just kind of keep a quality control of it?
So here's what we do. If you register to be a contestant on our app, you connect your social media channels and we check to see what kind of following you have. So if they're not real followers and you get into our contest, it doesn't help you because you need real people to vote.
So it's like a contest.
It is a contest.
So it's a contest based, like how often does a contest happen?
So we just had our beta, so we're figuring out how often we're going to hold contests because they're genre based. You're competing with your peers. So unlike American Idol or some of those type formats, you're not competing with people who are in different genres. You're only competing with your peers. So we'll host them periodically throughout the year, depending on the genre. But they'll be 30 to 45 day cycles. So with that, you register to participate. We verify that you have a following, enough of a following to participate. You pay a small fee, and once you're in, you will have access to our producer database of beats. So these producers have provided their beats to be a part of this contest because if you win with their beat, they win too. So
I love that.
So the idea is you pick a beat. After you've listened through the directory, you find one that you feel comfortable with, that you can make a song with. You create an original song. You don't have to worry about clearances. There's no samples or any of that. So if you can't afford to clear a song, you don't have to worry about that with our platform. You have a beat that you can go and create a song with, and you're responsible for creating a video with your phone. That makes it equitable for everyone. So you don't have to worry about having
something else. You can't use another type of camera.
Nope, it has to be your phone. Once you have your song and your video, you upload them to our platform within the time frame that you're supposed to submit. And the first round, we only reveal the audio in the platform. So it's important that you actually can deliver on the lyrics, on the song, on the quality of the music, because that's what people are going to be judging on.
Do you have to be a singer? Is it more for artists or singers and less for songwriters?
No, if you're
if you're a songwriter and you can't sing like myself, could you hum it? You know, kind of sing along.
No, but you need an artist.
Because you're producing it. It's like what does that final thing sound like?
Exactly. So if you're an artist and you're working with a songwriter, then you absolutely have to make sure that you acknowledge them as a part of your registration, because it's important for us to make sure that we are being supportive and we're advocating for all artists, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're an artist or a producer, for us. So that very first round is the most difficult round to get past. So you have to have a quality song, something that resonates with people, that they can connect with, has quality sound, has lyrics that people want to hear. If you get past that round, and the judges are you and I, it's you and anyone who loves music, those super fans, those fans who actually subscribe to other music platforms for music every day. If they're listening on the radio, if they're listening on satellite radio, whatever those platforms are, those are the folks who actually vote to decide if you're moving to that next round. If you do, then we reveal your video also in the app. And now we're getting to see how creative you are, how you can story tell using visuals. And then the final round is actually in person. So You reduce the number of people that compete from round to round to round. So when you get to that last round and folks are competing, we want to see how you actually rock a crowd, like what your stage presence is like.
Have y'all done one of those yet?
Yes, we did.
Where?
Yes, we did. We did it in Atlanta. We did it in a small Black-owned venue called Brooklyn Tea.
Okay.
Shout out to Brooklyn Tea for allowing us to have our very first beta version of our contest. And we walked away with the winner. Her name is Nisi Poo. Y'all follow her.
Nisi Poo.
Yes. She is out of Chicago, as a matter of fact. She's a student at Clark Atlanta University. And she is a musician. She's also a producer as well. And she had a fantastic visual. She is a star. Wow. And she is going to go places. And through our platform and her ability to be able to shine with the audience that she had, she was able to grow more followers than she had before, and she'll have an opportunity to take a little bit of an investment to be able to continue to make music.
So this is what I love, though. Everything you just described, frankly, if venture capitalists had their hands on it, they would ruin it. Everything you just described is something where I'm sure in the future you're going to go and get sponsors.
Yes.
That's the play.
Yeah.
The venture, so a lot of people, this is going to help a lot of people, because a lot of people would say, well, I got to start, I got to have money to do this, I got to get the site going. You're a techie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got, either you are a techie or you partner with a techie.
Yes.
And then you get the site going, then you get the model going, and then it sounds like you collaborated with someone who had the venue.
Yes.
Right? You didn't spend a whole bunch of money, you collaborated.
Yep.
And you make it happen. You do a beta. You don't try to sell out the arena down the street to start things, because then that adds that pressure of the resources that you need to make it happen.
That's right.
So now you have this product market fit, where you know it's something people want, people use. You know there's a process, and you can just keep repeating that, and you can take that. She can take that and give some video footage and some information about some data about it, and find different partners and sponsors and different people who want to elevate and elevate and elevate it. That's the recipe.
Yes.
And so talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about, well, I have a couple questions. I'll come back to the one I had. How do you position yourself, having the background that you have, because you've been around professional music a lot? How do you position yourself to this? What do you say as the founder?
Well, my background really is tech, and
and
music has come into my purview in the past 10 years, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I married the two things to try to make a difference. So my company is a legacy company, but it's one that is for impact.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-label, not at all. I really am anti discrimination or anti-deception, and just taking advantage of people. So for me, this is an opportunity to take the education that I have in the music business, the experiences that I have in the music business, and my experience with tech, and utilize that to help promote these emerging artists and educate them on the music business so that they can be successful. Right now, the biggest way for you to earn money as a musician is through your brand. It's through your brand, it's through performances, it's through your merch, it's all of the ancillary things that are associated with the foundation, which is the music. So if you're successful at creating music and having a fan base that follows you, then you can be successful in being able to grow and maintain that career. You have to be, of course, flexible and adjust as times change. But if you have a sound and you have a fan base that you can lean on, that's going to provide you feedback as you're building your brand, then you will be successful. You don't necessarily need an advance to say, hey, we believe in you, and go off and make this music, but then if you fall flat with that one album, we may put you on the shelf and you owe us all this money.
I mean, isn't the same? It's the exact same. The music and what I'm saying about venture.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's very much so the same.
And when did we have this conversation first? When was that?
Oh my gosh, that was in 2021.
2021. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it might have been sooner than that. More recent than that, because I think it was before COVID.
It was before COVID.
It was before
You're right.
COVID.
You're right.
That we had the initial conversation.
The very first conversation.
About that, and I just love that. I love that you're here in Miami and Art Basel with this.
Yes.
Like that to me is exciting. Like you did, because I have conversations with people, and then I'll have a conversation a year later, and I have a conversation a year after that, and they're still ideating.
Yeah, no.
They can't get themselves past the thought of it, because I guess they're scared to fail in a lot of cases.
Oh no, I failed. I did exactly what technologists do. I went and built it first, or started building it, and then I didn't have my market research. I didn't understand who my customer was. I thought, well, all musicians. Well, it's not all musicians that I'm going after. I'm actually going after a very specific audience. They are emerging artists who have a small following, and they're trying to really break out and be bigger. I'm looking for the super fan, that fan that's going to buy tickets to a show, that they travel for a show, that they buy merch from artists, and they really are curators within their circles of music. I'm also looking for those producers who are trying to become the next Metro Boomin, right? Those producers.
Oh, you're too hip for me. I don't know different people. I'm like,
Metro Boomin is one of the biggest hip hop producers in the world right now, and he's on an incredible run. He just had a soundtrack for the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, the second version of it, and he is an incredible person, just overall, and an incredibly talented producer. On top of that, so and lots of people look up to him, and they want to be him or be like him. And they can, in their own lane, though. Yes. In their own lane. And I think that, they just need the pathway to become who they are supposed to be, who they're talented to become. And they need support around them to do it. And the music industry is very, very tough. It's a lot about who you know. And once you get into it, you don't necessarily understand the mechanics of the business side of it. You understand the creative side of it, but you may not understand the business side of it. And if you're not careful, you will give up a lot of the things early on in your career, and then you figure out what they mean in terms of your rights, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to give that up.
And I didn't know I was signing that away to begin with. I want to take one moment to say, call to action. Go to arlansfirstmillion.com. In that, you will learn about the Spark program, where I take you through who is your ideal customer, what's their customer journey, etc. So take you step by step on your road to your first million. It's called arlansfirstmillion.com. Check it out.
Yes, definitely. I love your podcast, number one.
Thank you.
You have a lot of tidbits in there for entrepreneurs that are starting out just like me. I didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur. What did you think you were going to be? I thought I was going to be a professor.
A professor. I get that.
I thought after I retired from corporate America that I would become a professor.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. Have you ever taught at any level?
I mean, informally.
Informally,
I have taught. I've taught my whole career, it seems. Somewhere or another, I've helped people out in some type of way. But so I thought that would be a natural progression for me. But as it would happen, my son asked me to help him out with his business. And as he,
you have several.
I have several kids. I have 6 children overall.
Woo! That's like my brother Rook. He has 6 kids.
Yes. 6 kids team. Yes. We have my oldest son, who also is into music and starting his career. And then we have my son that is an author. My son, after him, is the rap star, Offset. And then I have my youngest son, who is a techie like me. He works for Microsoft.
Oh my goodness.
So 4 sons, and then I have 2 daughters. One daughter that is a production, she's in the production world, so she's a producer for various short film, videos, and that type of stuff. And then I have a daughter who works a regular job, like I did for many, many years. And so she is the next to oldest. And so 6 children.
I love that. Everybody's doing something a little different.
Everybody's
slightly different.
Completely different.
Well, you have 2 people that like the music, but you got everybody else is
doing other stuff.
That's so great.
For sure.
That's great.
For
So
sure.
one of them asked you to work on their business.
Yes, and when he did it, I was like, I don't know anything about the music business.
Yeah.
But I know business. I've worked in business. I have a degree in business and tech. So I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. And
Okay, you talking about Offset?
Yes.
So you were doing the corporate thing.
Yes.
And then you thought you were going to be a professor at some point.
Yes.
And then Offset said to you, I need your help with the family business, with the music business that I'm working on.
Yeah.
To take over and do something.
Yeah, just handling his day-to-day.
Yeah.
He had bills to be paid.
Yeah.
That he needed an entity to be set up.
Yeah.
Just all of the different things that entrepreneurs really need to have done.
Yes.
Not realizing that musicians are entrepreneurs, because I didn't even know that basic concept.
Yeah.
If you are a musician, you are an entrepreneur. You're responsible for registering yourself as a business. Or registering your business and then working for that business.
That's right.
So that was an education for me. And so he was like, there's just things that need to be done. There's paperwork that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I need someone to just go handle that stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm creating
And
this great music.
Probably have his back too, because he could have
for
hired
sure.
somebody who may have figured that out, but you were going to have this point of view of, like my mom who's in the other room here, I'm going to protect
That's
the
right.
heck out of you while we're figuring this out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He wanted somebody he trusted
Yeah.
to come in and help him.
So you learned an entire new
industry.
profession, yeah.
Oh my God. And what an education it has been. It still is.
Yeah.
I don't profess to know everything there is about the music business.
Yeah.
That is not who I am. I know people who do though.
Yeah.
And so if I need to tap into somebody,
Call
I
on
can.
them.
Right?
How important is that for the entrepreneurs watching and the artists watching? How important is it to ask for help or to collaborate in that way?
It is extremely important to be able to ask for help. We do not operate in vacuums and succeed. There's always someone who knows something that you don't. They have experiences that you don't, and it is totally okay to say, you know what, I don't quite understand that. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
Or to be able to ask somebody, how did you come up with that perspective, right? Why do you think that way? Because people, generally love to share, and especially their experiences. And if you find people that you can really vet what they're saying to you and you find it to be true, you want to hold on to those people.
Yeah.
Because as you're learning your journey, you want people that you can rely on to answer your questions as you're going along. And then you also want to become that sage,
Yes.
to have that wisdom to be able
Yeah.
to share with other people as they come behind you.
Because that comes with experience, and most people think it has to be years ahead, you have to be old and wise, right?
No.
But as you collect experience over the weeks and months and years that you're working on something,
Yes.
that is collected wisdom and insight that you can then help the person who's a year behind you, 10 years behind you, 4 years behind you.
Absolutely.
That's just fulfilling, I think.
It is completely fulfilling, and the music business continues to change. Certain things don't. A lot of the legal aspects don't change very quickly, but how you are reaching people changes all the time.
Yeah.
And who and what consumers want and who they want to consume music from changes constantly. So it's important for you to keep your ear to the ground and connect it to people who are making those changes, who are facilitating and leading those changes, so that you can adjust to those changes. As an example, 10 years ago, social media was not the major way that people would discover an artist.
Yes.
Today, it is one of the number one ways that you can discover new music and artists. So it's important for artists to understand that things will change. Just because they are a way today doesn't mean they're going to be that way tomorrow. And it's important to have either someone on your team or you very astute to those changes.
And how do you hope the company helps with that? I mean, I see an obvious path there, but how do you think about it?
Well, in addition to the genre-based contest that we host, we also have a Discord community.
Oh.
Where if you're in the top 100 of our winners, because everyone that actually participates in our contest are winners, and I want to come back to that point.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to then collaborate with other emerging artists, number one, so you can learn from each other. But the idea is that we grow that space and bring in experts, as subject matter experts in various fields. So not just other successful artists, but also legal folks that can come in and talk to you and tell you some tidbits that you can do as a as a real plain example, if you do not have the funds to be able to hire an attorney on a retainer, find an attorney who's willing to review contracts for you, and you pay them. Pay them a flat fee to review contracts for you.
Yeah.
So you may not be able to retain them for 3 to 6 months, but you can pay them on a per contract basis to be able to review contracts for you. You have ChatGPT now. So if you can't even afford to pay an attorney to review a contract for you, you may be able to afford an hour of their time of a contract that you've had summarized through ChatGPT that have them say, may I pay you this $350, $450 for 1 hour to review this summation and tell me if this is legitimate or to answer questions that you might have about it, so that you can be able to move forward or not with a particular contract. Leveraging the resources that you have available to you is so important. So having someone from the legal community to be able to talk to our artists and producers on some basic things that they need to know is a benefit of being able to be a participant in the Who's Got Next Music contest.
Is it who'sgotnext.com or another website?
It's who'sgotnextmusic.com.
Who'sgotnextmusic.com.
And they can also look for Who's Got Next Music in the Apple Store and the Google Store, and they can download the app.
Wow. I don't have an app in the Apple Google Store. I need to get...
There's not many black women who do.
Really?
Yes. So I'm very proud of that fact.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, when you came in, you mentioned that, and I was like, how long has it been since we talked? Like, you moving and shaking.
Well, it feels longer. Honestly, it feels longer. But I can say that you were very instrumental in me moving forward and not waiting. Not waiting until I got a check. Not waiting until I got someone else's confirmation. You basically said, Latavia, this is your baby. This is your idea. You fund it, go build it. Just build an MVP. That's what you told me to do. Build an MVP.
Minimum viable product.
Yes. And so I did that. And I did more than I should have, because like I said, I'm a techie first, so I went to go try and build the whole thing.
But what you did was the lesser expensive lessons.
Yes.
They probably were expensive, but it was lesser than it would have been down the line.
Yes.
Doing it a different way. Yeah.
I had to figure out who my customers were.
Yeah.
So I backed up. I paused my development long enough to actually figure out who my customer was, which was so important.
Yes. And
the customer journey. You know, how will they consume my product? How will they know about it? Why should they care?
Yeah.
And if they are someone who is already into music, how am I solving their problem?
Yes.
Those were things that I had to take a step back and be able to articulate in order to be able to finish building out my product.
Can I touch on something? You can let me know if you don't want to talk about this. It's your show. But I want to mention something that you probably would never say, but I think it's important for people to know. I think people, if they heard you say earlier that Offset's your son, and they're putting 2 and 2 together and who your family is, they might say, oh, it's easy for her because she got all that Offset money. She got all that blah, blah, blah. You decided to go and do this on like yourself. Yeah. This isn't something where you went, well, let me go to the coffers. Nope. You said, let me do this truly bootstrapped.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm right.
It was important for me to do it that way.
Tell me why that.
Because
it's important.
When I started my career in IT, number one, there weren't a lot of us, black men or women, in my space. And I love technology. Like, I really, truly love it. To this day, I'm retired from my corporate career, but I love everything about it. I read about it every day. And if I took the money from my son to go and make my company into what I want it to be, then that would be his company.
Ooh.
I needed it to be my company.
Let's respond. Let's sit there for a moment. Say that one more time.
If I took the money from my son to build my company, it would be his company. It wouldn't be my company. So I'm bootstrapping because it's important to me that I do this. I do this not just for myself, but for every black girl who is in a male-dominated space to be able to say, I can do it. I am important. I am able. I am more than innovative.
Yes.
And I can make a difference. And I want to be that person for emerging artists, producers, and super fans of music.
Love it.
I know that there are plenty of black girls who could do the same thing.
I just love that to death because you know he's cheering you on. All 6 of your children are cheering you on.
Yes.
They got your back.
Yes.
This is you.
This is me.
This is you.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I wish the best for you. I'm here to be a resource of information. When you get to the point, or if you get to the point where you do want to take outside capital down the line, when you have built this to where you feel like, oh yeah, I'll let some people along for the ride.
Yes.
Please call me.
Yes.
But in the meantime, or even if that never happens, I am writing for you, and I love this whole concept. I feel like it has so much IP to it that it could be all this other stuff too. So I'm excited to see what happens.
My trademark. It's approved.
Oh wow! And that takes like a year.
It took a year. Yes. It took a year, but I am trademarked.
Trademarked.
Yes.
I love it. You're trademarked for Who's Got
Next Music?
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's a hard trademark to get.
It is.
Wow.
It
okay.
is.
Anything else we should know?
Download Who's Got Next Music app.
Okay, you heard it here first. You got to download. We're out here weathering the winds, and but it feels good out here. I like it out here.
It feels amazing.
I can stay here
and the view is amazing.
It's beautiful, right?
Yes, it is so nice out here.
Yeah, I love this. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for coming by and hanging out.
Girl, it's good to see you.
It's always good to see you.
Because I see you everywhere, but not in person.
That's right. We follow each other online. Yes.
Yes.
Anytime. We'll do something. You coming to my event in April?
I'm coming to your event in April.
Hey.
I have an event. I have an invitation directly from you. I'm coming.
Your First Million Live, April 9th through 12th.
Yes.
Your First Million Live Your First Million Live.
Yes.
You will be in the building.
Yes.
Will you do something with your app at the event?
I would love to do something with my app.
Let's do maybe like an in-person contest or something.
We should.
Let's talk about it.
Let's see how we can make that happen.
Okay, I love it. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I hope you're enjoying this episode. Join me at Your First Million Live. Go to yourfirstmillion.live, and because you're watching this video, I'm going to give you a deep discount on your ticket. Type in the word LIVE, L-I-V-E, at the checkout for any tier, and I'll see you there. You'll be in the building. You have to be there. Join me, TLC, Janelle James, Sheila Johnson, Rich Paul, Issa Rae. Check it out.